To the show, and we are going to install an exterior door on the storm shelter. It's blowing 30 miles an hour outside and it's like 26 degrees, so I decided I wasn't going to try to put up steel because that would be dumb. But anyway, I got the rest of this storm shelter framed up on the outside, and I don't know if you remember me telling you that on the outside I'm going to put steel, so I needed horizontal boards. So basically they're just like the exterior framing girts. So when I put that steel, I have something to screw it to. So I got all that done this morning. It didn't take too long. They're 24 inch on center, and I also have the rough opening for my door in there. This is a 36 inch door, so typically you do 2 inches wider rough opening than the width of your door. So I've got it all ready. I put in blocks, so I had a nice solid piece to put the door up against. Now, this is an exterior door, and so exterior doors, the difference between that and an interior is you're going to have this built-in sill. Alright, so these doors that I got, they're Mastercraft. They're a steel door, but then all the frames are composite. So one thing that you don't want to do with the composite door, in my opinion, is screw through the jambs, because it makes it look really bad. There's no way to really fill it and make it look good. So I'll show you how I deal with that. But these are also built for a 2x6 wall, so you want to make sure you know the thickness of your wall if you're ordering a door, so they can build this accordingly. So when you're installing an exterior door, the first thing you want to make sure is that where the door is going to sit is level and plumb. That's most important. And as you can see here, I don't know if you can see that bubble. I'm sitting level, so I know this one is level. Now I have two more doors. I have one going into the house, and then I have one here in the back of the garage, and I'll show you those two because they're a little bit different of installs just because they're going to be on concrete. And I know for a fact that this one in the back, where the door is going to sit, is not level. When they poured the concrete, they didn't get it pulled back on one side, so I will show you that door install and how you deal with installing a door on concrete when it's not level. So now that we know this is level, you want to put several, probably 2 or 3 beads of sealant on your bottom sill. Now if this was an exterior door going into a house and you had wood floor, they make waterproof sill pans that you can pre-install that the door actually sits in, so if any water gets through, it'll run out. I'm not worried about it in this case because this is inside my garage, so I'm not going to do anything as far as waterproofing on this. It's not a concern of mine, so I'm just going to seal it so air can't get through if I had a garage door open or something like that. 2 beads of caulk across here, silicone, and then I will put silicone on the edge of this brick mold, and then when I push that up against here, that'll give me a seal. So we'll go ahead and get that in. So first things first, make sure that is level. If it's not, and you're doing like on a wood floor, you're going to have to shim it. But in my case, I'm good, so I'm just going to set it right on there. Alright, I got a couple of beads of silicone down along there, along the corners, and then I went ahead and went up with, I mean it's clear, it's hard to see, but up there along where the door will sit and went all the way around. So we can go ahead and put this door in. And as usual, an extra set of hands would come in nice doing this, but I think I can get it. Alright, so we got it in, and as you can see, I put a 2x4 up across here, so when I go on the inside to do all my squaring and leveling and all that kind of good stuff, the door can't accidentally fall out. So, and like I said, if this was on the exterior of the house, there'd be house wrap that'd be folded in, and I'd put a sill, some kind of sill protection if I had a wood flooring. But in my case, I'm inside, so I'm not worried about it. So if your bottom sill wasn't level, this is where you would use some shims to level up your bottom sill. That's the first thing you would do. My sill is level, and I checked my top, and that's level. However, the first thing I'm going to secure is the hinge side of the door. And if I check right here, it's hard to see, you can see that I'm a little off. So the way I need the door to go, I need the bottom of the door to go to the left. So you can see I got plenty of space there, and it's kind of tight right here. So I want to move the bottom of the door that way. But before I do that, I'm going to shim and screw this top hinge in place so that does not move. So we're going to go ahead, take one of these screws out, put shims behind here, and get this secured, and then I can move the bottom of the door up over and secure the bottom. Alright, so I got the first one shimmed, and I got a screw through the hinge through the shims and into the jamb. Now, sometimes your shims, when you're by yourself and you don't have anybody to hold these, you can either take a screw or a nail and just, tack it into the jamb here so these can't spin, or you're going to have to take the door off so you can hold them while you put the screw in. But that's what I chose to do, is just put a screw in here. This keeps these from spinning until you get through and get them secured properly. So you can see I just have one long 3-inch screw through the hinge. Now that we got that, we can shim this bottom and get this side all plumb, and then we can worry about that side. I chose to secure the top of the door through the hinge with a 3-inch screw, so I shimmed it, screwed it, put a level back on, and then I had to move my door that way to get this jamb plumb. So I shimmed the bottom hinge, again, put a 3-inch screw through the hinge into my supports, and then I did the middle. So that's all plumb and square. My bottom's level, my top's level, and my hinge side is level, which means this should be pretty level. Now it will have a little play in it, but we'll take care of that as we secure it. So, and if we shut the door, you can see that it shuts real nice, and I already have a nice reveal. So now my job is just to shim this along here, and I like to do it up at top, at the bottom, and then on each side of the lock set. So we'll have 4 in here, one at the top and bottom and one on each side of the lock set. And where I screw it on these composite doors is behind this seal. So you pull this seal back a little bit, and you can tuck your screws up in here, and then when that seal goes back, nobody will ever see them. And then you don't mess up this nice finish you have. I like to pre-drill all my holes on this side when you're actually messing with this composite. So I did one at the bottom. I'm going to do one here below the lock set. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver to hold that back. And then I'm going to do one above the lock sets. And then I'm going to do one at the top. After each one I put in, I'm closing the door, checking the reveal to make sure we're still nice and level and even. So you can see I have a nice even reveal all the way down. Alright, so you can see, now that we got this all installed, you can see how nice and clean that is. I got a nice, I pre-drilled these, and then I just countersink that screw right into that behind the seal, and you'll never see it. So on the hinge side, you're putting a 3-inch screw through the hinge so you don't have to mess any of this up. And then on the lock side, you do it behind the seal. You kind of pull this seal back, pre-drill them, and you can tuck those screws away underneath there where they'll never be seen. And you get a nice finished look. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Like I said, this is just a simple exterior door install that I'm actually putting inside my garage. That's why I use an exterior, because I will have the garage doors open some days. And it's just, I wanted a nice sill plate down there for coming in and out. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions on this door install, just put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. And like I said, when I do this other door where I know the sill is not level, I'll show you guys how I fix that. So, till next time.